Good evening, everyone. Welcome to First Church. Welcome to our Louise self-healing class. This is a class that we have every Thursday night. I want to welcome everybody who's new. I want to welcome all of our wonderfully engaged virtual congregation. There's hundreds of you watching and participating in this Thursday class and gathering now, so we're really grateful. We're gathered from all corners of the earth, far and wide. There's also a large number of you who are watching on Facebook and YouTube. So welcome, everyone. Louise was a practitioner here. She learned many of the things I learned right here at First Church. So most of our lessons on Thursday are inspired by her book, You Can Heal Your Life. Again, we're connected this evening. Many of you still signing in, as I can see on the Zoom call. Lately, our numbers have been really huge, and so that's a testament to all the work everyone's done, all your participation, your support, and I want to thank you all. Again, for those of you joining through the week and watching the broadcast and sending us comments, we get every one of them. We have some phone calls to return. There's quite a long list. If there's any of these lessons you want to watch again, please go to Facebook or YouTube. We always put in the chat, you'll notice all the links to all of our social media. If you're interested in supporting the center financially, you can. All the links are there. You can mail a check. Our classes, just about everything that we do is offered free of charge on a love offering basis. So we're just glad you're here, and we're glad that our work is helping you. So we're moved by your insights, grateful for the energy you bring to this healing circle, this gathering. Again, those of you who support us, that allows us to do more. We're about to launch a Spanish class, a translation of some of our Louise work, because there's a huge interest in the Spanish community in Louise work. So let's begin our lesson. The links again are in the chat. Let's start with just a little bit of a meditative process. So as we gather here, let's take a moment to center ourselves. Be in a comfortable place. Breathe in the spirit of connection. And as you exhale, release any barriers within yourself to peace. If you're stressed out or you've been stressed out today, breathe in peace and exhale. And then maybe again, another deep breath and relax more and more. Let's anchor ourselves in the present moment. Know that we're open and ready to receive the wisdom that has transformed countless lives before. I have a special little interactive exercise designed to guide us, so we know that we are vessels of healing and change. So it's with anticipation that we invite you into this session this evening, a journey of discovery and of affirming life. This session is designed for us to meet ourselves with kindness and grace. We welcome everyone, every like-minded soul. This is a place where you're seen, a place where you're valued, you're appreciated. And we start out everything with a namaste. Okay, so in this little process, you can keep your eyes open or lower your gaze, whatever makes you more comfortable. Once again, because I know there's a lot of people who have signed in the past moment or two. Be comfortable, take a gentle breath in and out. Find a rhythm that feels soothing to you. I'm going to share with you some affirmations, and let these words be a soft backdrop to your own quiet contemplation. At this moment, I know all is well. I am grounded. I am safe. I'm at peace. Breathe that in. Another affirmation. With each breath, I invite calmness into my being. With each breath, I invite calmness into my being. Next, I am surrounded by love. Everyone on this call, I'm surrounded by love. Take that in. I'm surrounded by love, and everything I do is an act of self-love. Next, I welcome peace and tranquility into every cell of my body. And you can say that again to yourself if you want. I welcome tranquility into every cell of my body. And now I invite everybody to know that I am an embodiment of strength and positivity. You might repeat that to yourself. I am an embodiment of strength and positivity. Now let's take another collective, gentle breath in, inhaling peace, exhaling any kind of worry or tension. One more breath, inhaling peace and exhaling any kind of worry or tension. This time, filling yourself up with this life-giving energy and the collective energy of all of us and our intention to grow and to heal our lives, as Louise Hay so beautifully put it. So now let's bring our focus back to our gathering, to our shared purpose as we prepare to take tonight's journey of learning and self-reflection. This evening's gathering, we want to explore who we really are, one layer at a time. We're learning to celebrate ourselves, learning to love ourselves, and we're discovering what makes us special. One thing in the science of mind teaching, we learn that we are individualizations of this one life. And we learn concepts like oneness. This was very foreign to me many years ago. We learned that there's one power, one life, one energy, one divine substance, one creative intelligence, one higher power that's in everything and everyone. So we come here to learn to heal our lives. We come here to learn how to love ourselves more. We come here to change our conversations around. And we come here to learn how to celebrate each and every one of us and what makes us all so special. One of the things we do is we recognize the inner strength that's a part of each and every one of us. Let us reflect on a piece of ancient wisdom that's traveled through time to reach all of us. It was carved in the temple of Apollo at Delphi, a place revered by seekers of truth. And it stands to this day, the inscription, "Know thyself, know yourself." In other words, don't look to other people, but look to yourself. Deep within the center of your being, Louise said, is an infinite well of intelligence and love. This timeless message, know thyself, inscribed in the walls of the temple of Delphi, was linked to Socrates. And it calls us to journey, to go into the journey of deep self-awareness. To know yourself, to love yourself, is to embrace your unique being, your unique essence, recognizing that we are individuals and we're individual manifestations of a great power. In every single gathering, we delve into the essence of who we are. We do this in the first two steps of affirmative prayer. The first step is we recognize that there is this power, this presence that's everywhere. And the second step of affirmative prayer, and we realize that power, that presence is in you. It's everywhere and it's in you, and it's operating through you. So let's set the stage for that. And then with the Louise Hay work and all the teachers who taught her, everyone she studied, everyone I studied, leads us to the place where we realize that we're part of this. We are one with it. So we're following a path here that's been illuminated by many great teachers throughout history. The wise Socrates with his know thyself, understanding yourself, and appreciating our own extraordinary uniqueness was his call. Many years later came Shakespeare, who in Hamlet said, "Above all else, to thine own self be true." So we're carrying on with this. Above all else, learn who you are and what you are, and learn to be true of yourself. Each of us are individualized expressions of a magnificent creative energy, force, intelligence. From scriptures, you will hear people say that we are children of it. We are part of it. We are one with it. Knowing ourselves and who we are in relation to Source, in relation to your higher power, is very important. Understanding that each of us are inlets and outlets of this great spiritual activity, and that it responds to us, is very important. It's been called the best kept secret of the ages, that this spirit is within you. And that awakened spirit, as you learn to awaken it and commune with it, it's there and it's at your disposal. We are points of awareness within the mind of this creative intelligence. This creative intelligence is in our heart, it's in our mind. Many of you have discovered through Louise Hay, and Louise Hay said, all healing is self-healing. In her book, we learn that we can heal our lives. We do this by means of consciousness. Consciousness can be thought of as the totality of our understanding. So we do our work in consciousness. This is one of the great gifts of the book, You Can Heal Your Life. Learning that you have this power, it's at your disposal. Learning that you can heal your lives is really important, because Louise Hay introduces us to metaphysics, and where we can wake up and realize that it's all about us. Your life is about you. It's about your thinking. It's about your thoughts. It's about your programming, the things you got as a child. And Louise would have said, what you give out comes back to you. She said it's all very simple. So we learn here that we are inlets and outlets of this activity, and that life responds to us all the time. One of her opening meditations, you'll hear her say, deep at the center of our being, we have infinite power. So there's power that we can use. It's available to us. In all of our gatherings, we remind you of the fact. We will teach you about the law of attraction and how it really works. The law of mind, the law of attraction, responds. We have power to use, and some of us are using it constructively, and some of us are using it destructively, and some of us are using it ignorantly, meaning we're using it both positively and negatively. So we come here weekly to learn about this power, learn how to use this power, and as Louise so beautifully said, it's all very simple. So we begin. Together, let's affirm this evening and feel very deeply, I am a unique child of this universe, deserving love and joy. And you can repeat that to yourself. I am a unique child of this universe, deserving love and joy. Take that into your heart. Can you feel that energy within you, that you're a unique child of the universe, deserving of love and joy? Or do you negate it? Some of you won't accept it. So if you don't, then you want to work with that. You want to say, I'm open and receptive to realizing that I'm a unique child of the universe, and I deserve love and I deserve joy. And then you want to take it to heart, so you can feel that energy deeply within you. There's a guiding light within every one of us. Some of you call it spirit, the voice, still voice. It's within you, and it's beckoning you along your path, ensuring that you are never alone. You might say, as you think about that, there's an internal guidance system. There is that which is within you that's always guiding you. And you can say, I am one with that power. I am one with the one. And another affirmation, I am supplied and I am supported. When I say to you as an affirmation, I'm one with the one and I'm supplied and supported, Does anything come up for you? Do you believe it, that you're supplied and supported? If you're new to our gatherings, and this is all new to you, I want to welcome you for being here, and please stay with us. It all starts to make sense. Louise taught us the power of self-affirmation. She used lots of affirmations in her work. Through her words, let us tonight draw strength as we repeat, I am in the process of positive change. Again, I am in the process of positive change. I love, accept, and approve of myself exactly as I am. I am in the process of positive change. We are ever evolving individually and collectively. We may not always appreciate the perfection that exists in life. We may not appreciate that this perfection is in every moment, but there is perfection nonetheless in every moment. Everyone is always in a place where they're evolving and growing and becoming more. The universe itself and the collective of the people on the planet, all of us are here growing and evolving and expanding. And we're all moving forward together. We each are in our own place, evolving and learning. We came to Earth to learn and to grow. We may be in very different places, as we all know, we observe. We may not understand the twists and the turns of life, but nonetheless, we're moving forward, we're evolving, and we're growing in consciousness. I think it was Khalil Gibran who says, the universe never tarries with yesterday. Life is longing for itself, and he was speaking of how life is going forward. And what we want to learn how to do is to align ourselves with the forward momentum of life, because life and spirit are always trying to get your attention. So pay attention to that voice within, because it's always there, as Emerson would suggest, wooing you and guiding you. If you listen, you'll always hear it. Our lives are a bit of a dance of change and growth, and each step, each and every movement is an affirmation of life. If we have the consciousness to see it, we're going to realize it's all good. Louise Hay teaches us that we're enough, we're more than enough. She would say you're fantastic. And usually every week I tell you in one way, shape, or form or another, I remind you of how great you are. That you are one in a billion, that you are an individualization of God life, and you are more than enough. You're fantastic, and yet we criticize ourselves. And the fact is we've grown so much and we've traveled so far. And it would be wonderful if you could start to acknowledge yourself for what you have overcome, what you've learned, what you've accomplished. It would be great if you could learn to be your own cheerleader rather than your greatest critic. Many of you live with remorse over the things you've done or the things you've done to people, and it lives within you, and you haunt yourself with all of that. The point of power, Louise Hay would say, is always in the present moment. So we want to release the past, and we want to forgive ourselves, and we want to forgive others, so we can be in a new moment. So we're enough, we're more than enough. Raymond Charles Barker, our founder here in New York, reminds us that we are the whole bit. The Bible, I believe, says that we have placed in you is everything you need for your godliness and for good keeping. Everything you could possibly need, you already have. How often have we found ourselves chasing approval of other people? You desperately want somebody to like you or approve of you, your girlfriend, boyfriend, parent, someone. You're really wanting somebody to approve of you. And the thing that's interesting, oftentimes we don't get that approval from outside. Or you don't get it from who you want to get it from, the right person. I remember being like that when I was much younger and learning at the time from a good therapist that I was other referred, meaning I was looking for other people to say good job or good job, whatever it was. And I needed to work on self-acceptance. And see, this is what Louise Hay would teach us in classes like this. She would say self-acceptance and self-approval in this moment, in this very now, are the keys to all positive changes. So it's kind of a trap to be looking for approval from your children or your siblings or your parents or anywhere else. It's a bit of a trap to be other referred. You'll get hurt, you'll get angry and all that. It's a trap to be looking for validation or someone to say good job or you're wonderful or anything from the outside. And you might think, well, I deserve this nod of recognition or I deserve this and all of that. But what we try to work on here is realizing self-acceptance and self-approval. That's the real goal. Learning to love ourselves. There's an epidemic of needy people in the world right now. Just look to Twitter, look to TikTok, and look to every place and everywhere where people are addicted to being liked and shared and commented upon. There's a whole generation of people who are looking for all of this to be approved of in every type of media. Let's ponder this for a moment. How does this seeking outside of ourselves serve us? How does it serve us to be looking for validation from the outside? And can't we see that when we do this, that we're giving our power away? We're giving away what we have. We have the ability to validate ourselves is what I'm getting at. So this is what I'm hoping everybody's starting to see. So let's replace that yearning with a new kind of affirmation. And I've created it for this particular class. My self-worth is independent of other people's opinions. Yes. My self-worth is independent of other people's opinions. It's really important to be able to start thinking your own thoughts. See, I have people in my family, they're repeating back stuff to me that I know that my grandparents used to say and all that, and I'm thinking, will you please think for yourself? They've not been involved in New Thought, and so a lot of people, they repeat habituated thoughts. What we're going for here as New Thought students is to realize that we are caused to our own experience, that we want to be our own thinkers in our own minds, and we want to get in touch with our inner desires and goals, and we want to check things out for ourselves, and we want to become more authentic. So it's important to think your own thoughts. Ralph Waldo Emerson, who was a great teacher who inspired Ernest Holmes, Raymond Charles Barker, Louise, Hay, me, and everybody that I know in the New Thought movement. He's someone that we study. Louise, again, studied him as we all did. And Louise Hay always said, trust yourself. It's no surprise that Emerson said the same thing. Emerson asked us to believe in your own thoughts, to believe in what is true for you in your own private heart. He says, if you believe what is true for you in your own private heart, if you believe in what's true for you is true for all of us, he says, that is genius. So to know that you're whole and complete, and to know that other people are whole and complete, that's genius. There's nobody for you to fix. You know that you're supplied and supported. And you know that you know. You know that you're in the perfect place, perfect time, all the time, and you know that life is responding to you endlessly. Both Emerson and Louise Hay suggested it would be good to trust that quiet voice within you. Trust it as you walk your own unique pathway. Sometimes you're going to be alone, but always you will be in the company of Spirit if you invite Spirit into your awareness. My dad always used to say, Spirit will not be the uninvited guest. And I love that saying. And really what he's saying is you just need to bring it into your awareness. I remember always the story of the prodigal child, who's lost in the wilderness and is doing all kinds of crazy things. And he's lost, and he's like a prince. And as he turned to the idea of Spirit within, or the Father comes rushing to the Son, or Spirit there's a restoration when you invite Spirit in. Find the way to create some quiet time, some time for meditation, some time for some pauses, Some of you have learned how to use your smartphones, your watches, or whatever to give yourself reminders to take that time. Because every answer that anyone's ever been looking for is to be found within. You don't need to get, say, one of your siblings or your parents' permission. You don't have to do any of that stuff. You can know that deep within yourself are all the answers. So my suggestion, recommendation this week is to find that time to sit with yourself, to take that pause with spirit, or the term we use around here the past year or so is take that time, that pause that refreshes you. And maybe you could reflect on questions, because Spirit's always going to answer your questions. One thing I can tell you about Spirit that I've learned is it always answers. In fact, you can't really stop it. Long ago, I started asking questions of Spirit in quiet moments. Now, mind you, I started doing this after quite a few years of using affirmations and working with Louise and affirmative prayers. And I started to get an understanding that life responds to me. I could see it in the affirmations and affirmative prayers. There would be demonstration after demonstration. So I got to a point where I realized that Spirit itself is always giving us clues. It woos you. And the clues it gives you can come through ideas that you have out of the blue. It could be if you're doing journaling, as I used to do all the time. But these messages come from everywhere when you start to become more tuned in. If you're so busy that you can't hear it, you might miss some of this. Dr. Bill, who is one of my great teachers, one of my favorites, in one of our classes used to say, it was a ministerial class, he says, there is that which is within you that knows. And he said that often. And it kind of annoyed me a little bit because sometimes we would like to say, well, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know. And he would always challenge us by saying, there is that which is within you that does know. And the fact of the matter is, Spirit is within you, and you do know. He was correct that there is that which is within us that knows what to do. So we have so much power available to us, and we sometimes say we don't know, and we try to look to somebody in our life to be our guide or guardian or someone to tell us what to do. But when we're doing that, we're abdicating our responsibility. Louise would say we're each 100% responsible for everything in our lives. And so we believe that's true, those of us who are really involved in the teaching. And so we really want to invite Spirit into our awareness and ask some of these questions because it will always answer. I knew back then that I could sit down and pause and get connected and ask myself a question. One of my little ways was I would say, what's the most self-loving thing I can do about any single thing? And I'm going to tell you something. There always would be a direct answer. If you ask that direct question and you're sitting in quiet, what's the most self-loving thing I can do about this? The first answer is going to come directly from within you. That's the one that's going to be coming from Spirit. The second or third are suspect because that could be you rationalizing. My ego or my personality might want something else, but when I ask that question, there is guidance right there. So for me, part of learning to love myself was learning to trust this process, to trust, as Louise often spoke, in the process of life itself. Now back to the important affirmation I started with. My self-worth is independent of other people's opinions. It is. It took a long way to get there. But my self-worth is independent of other people's opinions. My sense of self is my own creation, not a reflection of someone else's. Terry Cole Whitaker wrote that wonderful book by the title, What You Think of Me Is None of My Business. Her book is a powerful reminder that the only approval that ever really matters is your own. Your worth, your value, it's all defined by you. We build our self-esteem from the inside out always. We build our self-esteem from the inside out, unswayed by the fleeting judgments of other people. And for the third and last time, my self-worth is independent of other people's opinions. Say it to yourself, believe it, and feel how liberating it is. My self-worth is independent of other opinions. Louise encourages us to love ourselves no matter what. Never, never, never criticize yourself. Accept yourself. Approve of yourself. You've come a long way. That was a slogan for, I think, Virginia Slims. You've come a long way, and we have. Tonight I ask you, what if you looked in the mirror each morning, and you looked at yourself and you truly saw a friend? If you could look at that image in the mirror with love coming from your eyes, extending it to the image in the mirror. I'd like to challenge everyone on this broadcast to do yourself have a little mirror time, to see yourself in your mirror as your friend, as a very well-loved friend, and give yourself a smile, give yourself a thumbs up without any kind of criticism. Look at yourself and say, I love, accept you, I approve of you. Do that just a little bit more often. Now, some of you might think it's silly, but I promise you it'll pay big dividends. The same way, those of you who have a gratitude list and read it to yourself daily, they see huge dividends. I've done this with classes I've taught. I've seen it with my own eyes. Those of you who develop a gratitude list, simple things, and read it to yourself each day, you'll see big dividends. You'll start to see demonstrations and manifestations. So start by taking a moment in the mirror and give yourself a blast of love. Give yourself a moment of love and appreciation, and watch how your days start to change. So let's approve together. I love, accept, and approve of myself exactly as I am. Again, I love, accept, and approve of myself exactly as I am. And if anything comes up for you that says you're something less than wonderful, cancel that out. Cancel, neutralize it, and replace it again with I love, accept, and approve of you exactly as you are. Those of you who know me well know I'm always talking about that inner dialogue, the inner dialogue you're having with the most important person in the world. The most important dialogue in life is the one you're having with yourself. And I'm always challenging everybody to pay attention to it. And I tell you, it's the most important conversation you're having, and only you know what it is, because it's the thing that's creating your life. I read once, the most profound conversations are the ones we have with ourselves. The words we whisper to our reflections in the thoughts we entertain in the quiet moments are the building blocks of our reality. I'd like to think many of you are engaged in having a conversation every morning with yourself in the mirror, because I know that will be the beginning of a lot of positive changes. Louise Hay knew the significance of improving one's self-dialogue. So how do we ensure that this inner conversation is nurturing? In our teaching, we know thoughts are things, that your word is your wand. So we want to deliberately choose our words and intentions with love. We also learn to become the guardian at the gate, meaning we pay attention to what our thoughts are, and as soon as we find ourselves going negative or to the dark side, that we cancel it. Cancel. Mid-sentence, stop in the name of love. We learn to neutralize the negatives. We teach you various strategies, sometimes simply to stop yourself mid-sentence, as I said. Other times we might work on a particular issue in affirmative prayer, where we really actively work on neutralizing and eliminating the negative. We absolutely want to ensure our inner dialogue is more nurturing. Every one of us, are at choice. You've heard us talk about the wolves before. There's the dark wolf, and then there's the other one. And the question is, which one are you feeding? Are you feeding the negativity, or are you feeding the positivity? The negative or the positive? So most of us on this call are dedicated to living the positive approach that Louise speaks of in many of her writings. Knowing that it's entirely up to us, we choose to say, we choose to take the positive approach. We choose to feel good about ourselves each and every day. Every morning, and really in any new moment, there's a fresh opportunity for these affirmations to take root. Let's practice this together. Let's practice a couple affirmations by putting some life-giving seeds into your soul. Let's start with healing, for example. Every cell in my body vibrates with energy and health. That's a good one. Or loving myself heals my life. And if we want to move to prosperity, here's one. I prosper wherever I turn. I am one with abundant life. I am successful. So you might repeat some of those. For healing, every cell in my body vibrates with energy and health. Loving myself heals my life. And towards prosperity, I prosper wherever I am. I am one with abundant life. I am successful. You might notice as you say these words, if you take them to heart, there's a subtle shift as these affirmations echo within the chambers of your heart and mind. Ernest Holmes, another luminary of New Thought, taught us, life is a mirror and it's going to reflect back to the thinker what he or she thinks into it. Reflect on that. Life is a mirror and it's going to reflect back to you what you think into it. Our truth is not in what we assert to the world, but it's what we whisper to ourselves when all is quiet. Living our truth is a daily practice. It's in the very quiet and small moments, when you wake up in the morning, when the sun greets you, or in a stranger's smile, the quiet reflections that we have before we drift off to sleep. It's in our daily affirmations. An affirmation like, I am a beloved creation of the universe, and my life is blessed with ease and grace. That's a beautiful one to say. I am a beloved creation of the universe, and my life is blessed with ease and grace. So together, let us declare, today I claim my power and move beyond all limitations. Today I claim my power and I move beyond all limitations. Before we wind down, I'd like to invite you all to create a daily practice plan. Maybe start your morning with a gratitude list or an affirmation or two. Pause throughout the day to savor moments of beauty and connection. If you know how to set up your smartphones or watches, set up reminders. End your day with a reflection on what you've learned and how you've grown. And as we close our virtual gathering, knowing that we are united heart to heart, remember this: self-esteem is not a destination. It's a journey of recognizing our inherent worth and living our deepest truths with every breath we take. So now we turn it over to hear from all of you. Thank you very much.